Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a moment in history that was so much more than just a battle. It was a crucible, a point where faith demanded a choice, an impossible choice, really, between loyalty and conviction, between your family and your faith. You see, the Battle of Badr wasn't just another fight. It was actually given a special name, Yawm al-Furqan, which means the Day of the Criterion. And that name alone tells you something absolutely world-changing was about to happen on that battlefield. So what does al-Furqan even mean? Well, it's a standard, a proof that separates one thing from another. It was a moment that literally drew a line in the sand, making it crystal clear for everyone to see what was truth and what was falsehood, a divine clarification, if you will. And this wasn't just about separating ideas. No, this was a massive turning point. It marked the end of one era for the early Muslim community, an era of patient, quiet endurance, and the beginning of a brand new one defined by strength, conviction, and yes, decisive victory. But before we get into the incredible human choices that were made that day, it's really crucial to understand the divine principle that was being taught right then and there about where victory actually comes from. And here it is. This is the core lesson. The believers were taught that, look, your effort, your struggle, your sacrifice, it's all absolutely necessary. But don't you ever think that your own strength is what brings victory. At the end of the day, it's a gift, and a gift from God alone. And that's such a profound lesson on humility, isn't it? It's a reminder to never get arrogant when you win or to completely lose hope when the odds are stacked against you, because the final outcome is always in God's hands. Okay, so now we get to the heart of the story. This is where that divine principle gets tested on the ground, in the real-life choices of people who are caught in a truly impossible situation. Just try to imagine this for a second. There was a small group of men back in Mecca who had secretly become Muslim. Well, they were then forced by the powerful Quraysh tribe to march out with their army. And now, here they are, standing on a battlefield, looking directly across at their own brothers in faith. And these weren't just abstract figures in a history book. These are real people, with names, with families, caught in what has to be the most extreme test of loyalty you could ever imagine. Now, their excuse, what they were telling themselves, was, hey, we were forced to be here. We were coerced. But the reality of the situation, with the two armies just a short distance apart, meant that a clear, incredibly dangerous, but clear opportunity was right there in front of them to act on what they truly believed. And this right here is the central theme. This is al-Furqan in action. It teaches us that faith isn't just some private internal feeling. No, it's proven, it's verified by what you do in public when that moment of truth finally arrives. Out of that group, one man, Abdullah ibn Suhail, he made his choice. He didn't just stand there, he seized the moment. He actually fled the ranks of the Quraysh and raced across that open ground to join the Prophet. I mean, that action spoke way louder than any secret whisper of faith ever could. And in stark contrast, this incredibly powerful verse was later revealed about the ones who stayed behind, the ones who died fighting against the Muslims. It's a divine question that just cuts right to the heart of their inaction. It's basically asking, why didn't you take the path that was open to you? And this is so crucial. The brave action of Abdullah ibn Suhail did more than just save himself. As the scholar Ibn Abbas later explained, his action completely removed the excuse of being coerced for everybody else. He proved that a choice was possible. He showed that a path existed for anyone who was willing to take it. So Badr, the Day of Criterion, it established this vital principle of faith, of iman. Your internal belief is made real. It's validated by your external actions. They have to back each other up. They're two sides of the same coin. And the consequences of these choices, to act or to not act, they didn't just affect those individuals. They completely redefined the very meaning of community, of loyalty, and even of family. On that day, the lines were completely redrawn. You had believers facing their own relatives across the battlefield. Father against son, brother against brother. It showed everyone that a new, higher allegiance had been forged, a loyalty to God that was even stronger than the closest family ties. And this verse just summarizes the ultimate lesson of Badr so powerfully. It makes it clear that true believers won't side with those who oppose God. It doesn't matter if they're their own father or brother. True brotherhood, it says, is based on a shared faith, not just on bloodline. So the takeaway from the Day of Criterion isn't just a history lesson from long ago. It's a question.
A question that echoes through time and lands right here with us. When your deepest convictions crash into the pressure to just conform, what does your faith truly demand from you?